Hello. It's good to see all my Sunday school friends. My name is Miss Peggy, and I am coming to you on our Second Presbyterian Church Saginaw YouTube channel. Please make sure that you go in the corner and subscribe because we'd love to see you here every week, every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Last week, we talked about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. In the book of Genesis, God created all things, and it was good. That is what we are going to talk about today. The very beginning. How did Adam and Eve even get here on earth? I have a question for you. What is the most enormous, biggest gift that you have ever gotten? Maybe a pony? Maybe a bicycle? Or maybe a huge video game? Well, did you know that there are some presents that are so huge that nobody even notices them? They are so big that it's even hard to see them. Sometimes the only way to see them clearly is to go back to the beginning, or maybe just before the beginning. In the beginning, in the very, very beginning, there was not much. In fact, there was nothing, except for maybe a huge smile. But there really wasn't anybody there to see it. Then, on the first day, God gave us the gift of light. Now there wasn't just darkness anymore. There was also light. Now, when I say light, I don't just mean the light that comes from a light bulb or a flashlight. I mean all of the light that is light. God gave us the gift of light, of all light that comes from it. He is the source of all light. And when he saw the light, God said, "It is good." And that was the end of the first day. On the second day, God gave us the gift of water. I don't just mean water in a glass of water, or in a bathtub, or the water even that comes from the sky, or rivers, or a lake, or even an ocean. I mean water, all water. What is present in water that makes it water. And this is the firmament. It separates the water from below from the water up above. And when God saw all that water, God said, "It is good." And that was the end of the second day. On the third day, God gave us the gift of dry land. God divided the waters from the dry land, and he gave us growing things. I mean all the land and all the green growing things. And when God saw all the dry land and the green growing things, God said, "It is good." And that was the end of the third day. On the fourth day, God gave us the gift of the great lights, day and night, and a way to count our days. The great light that rules the day, or the sun, and the great light that rules the night, the moon and the stars. And a way also to keep time. And when God saw the great lights and a way to keep time, God said, "It is good." And that was the end of the fourth day. On the fifth day, God gave us the gift of the creatures that swim in the water and the creatures that fly in the air. And when God saw all these creatures that swim in the water and all the creatures that swim in the air, God said, "It is good." And that was the end of the 5th day. On the 6th day, God gave us the gift of the creatures that walk upon the earth, the 2-leggeds, which are us, and the many-legged creatures. This was the day that God put his own image into us. And when God saw all the animals and all the people and all the days of creation that he created, he said, "This is very good." And that was the end of the 6th day. On the 7th day, God gave us the gift of a day of rest and remembrance. Now, there was nothing really on this card because there are so many places that we could go to rest and remember. Maybe you could imagine something that you could put here for your place to go and rest and remember. It could be in your bedroom. It could be in your backyard by a tree. It also could be in church. It could be on a mountain or a lake or by a river. I don't know where your place is. Only you know where that place is. But I do know that this day is so special that Jewish people mark it with 2 candles, and we Christians mark it with a cross. Now, I wonder what special place that you would go to remember God's gifts of creation. I wonder which of the days that you would like best. I wonder which of these days could be the most important. I wonder which of these days that you are in right now. Which of these days do you think would it just be what you would be in? I wonder which one. I wonder if there are any days that you could take out and still have all the days that you need. Watch as I put away these material. The first day, the gift of light. The second day, the gift of water and a firmament from the water below and above. The third day, the gift of dry land and green growing things. The fourth day, the gift of the great lights, the moon at night and the sun in the day, a way to count our days. The fifth day, with all the gift of the creatures that swim in the water and the creatures that fly in the air. The sixth day, the creatures that walk upon the earth, the 2-leggeds and the many-legged creatures. And the last day, the 7th day, a special day. We don't know where that place would be, but maybe you could fill this in. And the beginning of nothingness. Throughout the stories in the book of Genesis, we see a pattern of God's love and grace. Today's story is told in hopes that we learn of God's unimaginable generosity and love for human beings by creating this beautiful world that we live in. Last week, we saw a pattern of sin and forgiveness in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. We all make mistakes, yet God continues to love us. We seek to live within God's loving embrace every day in this world. Please pray with me now. Dear omnipotent and loving God, thank you for giving us a world of wonderful things. God made the sun, and God made the trees. God made the mountains, and God made me. Thank you, O God, for the sun and the trees, for making the mountains, and for making me. Amen. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully we'll see you next week. I'll be here. God bless you.